This is a training session regarding the automated year-end closing procedure. At the end of each fiscal year, accepted general accounting principles dictate that the income statement should be zeroed out. The profit from the previous year should be moved into the balance sheet under the retained earnings account. Now, this could be accomplished by hand by going into the General Ledger transaction entry system and entering transactions that will reverse out the year-end balances of each one of the General Ledger income statement accounts. However, the accounting system has automated this process, and the program to do so can be accessed by selecting Year-End Closing from the General Ledger main menu. This window includes a short description of what is to take place. The program will create a group of transactions to clear your profit and loss statement for the new fiscal year. This transaction group is placed in a batch where you can prooflist it and post it using the General Ledger transaction processing program described in a different training session. Year-end closing transactions are posted to a special year-end fiscal period, which falls between the last period of the year to be closed and the first period of the subsequent year. In most cases, the fiscal year coincides with the calendar year and ends in December. When this is the case, an additional fiscal period called year-end must be added between December and January of the subsequent year. In this field, we enter the number of the year-end fiscal period. Balances to be reversed will be retrieved from the period prior to this year-end period, and the reversing transactions will be applied to this selected year-end fiscal period. Here we can enter the number of the transaction batch into which the group of year-end closing transactions will be saved. Now we'll click the OK button. The system retrieves the year-end balances for each one of the GL accounts from the profit and loss portion of the financial statement and creates a General Ledger transaction to reverse that balance. We can now select Transactions from the General Ledger menu. Our new group of year-end closing transactions will be displayed in this list box with total credits and debits that match. Let's click the Change button and view the group of transactions. We see all the transactions that offset the year-end balances of our profit and loss accounts, as well as a final transaction that applies the difference, or the profit or loss from the year, to our retained earnings account. We can now use the batch processing buttons here to prooflist and post our year-end closing batch. Once the batch of transactions has been posted, a trial balance report printed for the first period of the new year, usually January, will show beginning balances of 0 in all the accounts that show up on the profit and loss statement. This concludes this training session on the General Ledger Automated Year-End Closing Program.